Here we are finally starting week 5 of Overbots League Season 3. I took another hiatus. I'm just very procrastinating. I'm doing a lot of procrastinating on these because, solo casting and all. Okay, Note of Unks versus AI. These are the last two matches for both of these teams. I don't think either of these squads have an opportunity to make playoffs at all. Yeah. So I think the playoffs are pretty much set in stone here, but we're going to be playing these final matches either way. So here we go. Now Defunks AI, last two games of the season here. Oh, actually, AI has a chance to pass Krusty Crushers if they win both. That relies on a lot, though, I think. Because Krusty Crushers also have to lose a bunch. Nope, even then, Krusty Crushers have clinched. Never mind. It is impossible for any real changes to happen to the standings. So these matches are pretty much just for giggles and end of season standings. So we'll see what happens here. Going to King's Row. Once again, this match doesn't really matter all too much. As per usual, we are going first to 3 here. Could be an interesting one. I'm thinking next season we might go to a first to 2 format for regular games, and the playoffs will be the only first to 3 series, and the finals first to 7 as per normal, just to make it so we can get through these matches a little bit quicker than they go now, because you really got to commit to a match if you want to watch them now. They are going at minimum 3 maps instead of at maximum. Of course, draw is still a possibility, so it could extend some series, I suppose. Going to King's Row here, so we have the Lucio on AI here versus the Tracer returning to her team on the side of Note of Unks. Like I said, both these teams out of contention. No real chance in terms of playoffs here. 3 tanks missing out on playoffs. Soldier 76, Bastion missing out on playoffs this season. Very different from the last couple seasons for him. Of course, Soldier first time really being like utilized to great effect, I feel like, in Overbots. Okay. Here we go. So looks like very, very quick fight one. In fact, I think Soldier 76 is going to be the all-star for AI. I get to select that one. And he is killing it through this season. Rom did a pretty good job. But, yeah, I would like to see him there. Here comes Note of Unks. Gonna try to stop this AI squad. AI is a very strong team, though. I believe the last time these two teams faced, it was AI that came out on top. Could be wrong, though, actually. Soldier gonna get one. Doom bringing down another. Ash gonna be able to remove the Soldier, though. Can they stop AI here? Okay, looks like Note of Unks are putting in some work here against this AI squad. However, Doom absolutely popping off here. Mercy gonna pop that res. I do have a Mercy now. She did pop the res. Now she's using that damage boost. Gonna be difficult to push into here for Note of Unks as AI just have full control over this point now. Tracer still stalling a little bit here. She hasn't gone down yet. Doing her part. For my squad, I don't know if I want to give the nod to Torbjorn. I kind of want to give it to something like Cassidy for my squad. Cassidy has been so solid. Maybe even Tracer, just because I would like to see some new characters get the all-star nods. Tracer she did come into my team and completely turn our season around. Started winning game after game with her on our squad, as opposed to that Ash. Sorry about that, Ash. Okay. Notifunk's going to get about one more stop here, maybe, if they can hold on. Comes the Bastion ultimate. Not gonna find... Oh, did find that soldier, actually. Ashe gonna be the next to be removed here. Can Mercy's gonna go down to the Tracer, so it looks like Notifunk's able to hold out here for a little bit longer. And Sigma just doing his best to stay alive here on the cart. Will eventually... Oh, Ramatra able to remove that Tracer, but I think this is just too little too late here for AI. I think they will eventually just stall out. Notifunk's putting together a solid hold here. Swap to the Reaper pick. It's the triple tank that might come in handy. So many big bodies here. Bob gonna come out, gonna remove this Mercy from play most likely. Gonna help remove the Ramatra too. Gonna help with the soldier as well. Ashe with a big triple kill there. Coming from Blazing Magi to this squad. Putting in some work here for her team, even though this team is already pretty much out of contention here. Ashe just a very feast or famine character. Alright, Bastion gonna pop this a little too early. Rotation around the side here by AI, gonna be huge. Bastion is nanoed though. This could be awful. Doomfist getting very low. He doesn't manage to get around that corner though, so he is actually gonna live. Soldier gonna go down though. Bastion gonna be the next thing to fall though, so a chance here for AI regardless. Sigma behind, but we all know how bad Sigma is. An atrocious bot. Looks like maybe, just maybe, AI gonna push through Notifunk's regardless here. Soldier against Ana. Going to remove that Ana on point. Does he push the payload in? It doesn't look like it. Oh, there we go. He's starting. And that will be it, so good on the red squad here. AI pushing through King's Row, making good work of this fight. Okay, Soldier gonna go down here. Looks like a lot of members. Oh, did they get to sleep on the Sigma while he was fluxing? What a play by Ana, if so, if that is what happened. But it doesn't matter. AI is still pushing up. Even though that happened. She's going to be backing up to spawn here as quick as she can. However, going to push out a little bit here. We'll see if she gets anything. Nope, nope. She's not going to find any picks. Looks like Notifunks are coming back here for the re-engage. Big Slam comes through. A push off the map. Reaper's going to go down. Ashe down. And that is going to be it. AI eventually just making quick work of Notifunks here. Going to be a minute 50 on the clock. See if they can push it in here. They do have that Ramatra ult. That can pretty much just shut down a whole fight. If everything decides to jump on this payload. Okay, here it comes. Oh, this could be brutal. In fact, it will be brutal. So Ramatra just going to clean up this point. Sigma going to push this thing in. A minute 30 on the clock. Finish with a multitude of time here to deal with. Chances are waning here for Notifunks to get the job done. AI just looking like the better squad. And I have found it. Alright, the Soldier and Baptiste backline absolutely putting in work. I guess there was, I want to say Rush Hour last season, right? Had Soldier Bap. They didn't quite make it all the way, but they did a pretty solid job. Soldier I think wasn't exactly the most respected on that squad, because I think Rush Hour always chooses Rhine for All-Star games. It is their man. He has been very solid. In fact, this seems to be Rush Hour's season. Last 2 seasons, they had not seemed to get past that finish line, but Rush Hour just seemed way better than everyone else this season. Everyone's going to have to go back to the drawing board and see if they can make better teams to face up against that Rhine. However, who knows if he even gets Rhine next season by the way he has performed. Could be a top pick. Might not necessarily drop to Rush Hour this time around. All right. Here comes Notif Unks. They're going to be pushing in fairly deep here. Anna going to go down very quickly. However, Ash able to pick up 2. Reaper going to find 1. Okay, Notif Unks pushed in pretty solidly here, and they're going to evict AI from this point. Reaper with 3 at the end of that. The damage bot putting in some work there. And Sigma, he's never putting in work if you look at his stats. Okay. Here comes the Doom. Getting very low on the outside, looking in. Oh, Bap gonna go down. Soldier gonna fall. Sigma sucking up all the bullets. Doom gonna remove Ash. Fight has been back and forth here, but I think the AI is gonna come out on top. AI gonna remove that Bastion. Notifunk's trying to push forward. Ana gonna anti the ROM. Reaper gonna remove that Doom. Ramatra gonna go down. And eventually, Notifunks are gonna push through this. Ana with that final kill. Soldier just chilling back here for now. Probably gonna lose his life for this. Tries to fight with this Winston, however, that's not well advised there. That was a poor push by the soldier. Notifunks actually making good work of this King's Row. See if they can get through the whole map and get us one step closer to a Notifunk victory. AI, of course, the only squad in the league without a manager. I manage for them. They did win last season, so their team made best with what they could get, but it wasn't quite good enough to contend. Still a lot better than some other teams in the league, though, surprisingly. Okay. And gonna nano the Winton. I don't know if it's gonna be able to do anything other than that, though. Reaper getting way up in there. What is going on? I cannot tell. Reaper actually gonna be able to remove one here. Soldier gonna come back though and take him out. Here comes the meteor strike right onto the Sigma to protect him. Oh, Soldier gonna be picked off by the Bastion here, so maybe Notifunks can make something of this, but there's 2 left. It's a 2v3 here. Ana's going upstairs. Gonna drop down here. Helping her Winston, healing him up. He's gonna pop the primal, get onto this Doomfist, and actually it might look like maybe, just maybe, can get the job done here. Ramatra gonna avoid the explosion. Ash, you're very low. However, she is able to get out with her life, and soon enough it looks like Notifunks are gonna push through the second point. See if this Bob comes out in this fight. Could have a massive impact. So we know Bob does. Oh, got stuck in a corner. Never mind. Oh, well, okay, that's gonna help kill the Doom, though. The Bastion. Payload gonna be slotted in here. They are a little bit ahead here on Time Bank, I think. Just can't get stalled too much at the end here. If they win a good fight here, they could have themselves a better time. However, they need to win a couple fights, I think, to do that. All right. Quick fights. Ana gonna go down here. That's the other Ana, by the way, not the real Ana. That's the support Ana. Doomfist gonna fall. Soldier gonna actually remove Ashe, but it's too little, too late. Ramatra pops that ult, but it doesn't get much value. And suddenly, No Defunks are looking like they're gonna finish this map with more time than AI. So it does look like they will have the advantage going into the overtime rounds. Team with lower time does, I believe, attack first here. See, here comes the Bastion. Ult could be massive here. Doesn't actually find much. Does get the Sigma with the final barrage there, or final blast, artillery strike. And it does seem like this is just going to be it. Soldier fighting for his life, but he's going to fall to the Ashe headshot. Ramatra going to be on the outside looking in. Does not look like he's going to get much value here, and that is about a 50-second advantage there. Almost perfectly. 50%, 50 second. Not percent. Okay. So, AI gonna be on the offense first once more. They gotta get a decent push here if they want to overcome No Diff Unks on their defense. Of course, this is a non-match. Doesn't really matter for anything in particular, but fun show match nonetheless. Final look at these rosters before playoffs. Of course, these teams will never be seen again, at least in their current stance. I don't know. Maybe they'll draft like this again, but I don't know. These teams are so bad, I don't think anyone's going to want to draft these guys together. Just so we know for future reference, I would not recommend drafting a tank in the first round unless it is a very specific tank, aka an Orisa, probable Reinhardt, I would say. I would say Ram and Doom are pretty good, but I think you want to save those picks for the middle of the draft if you can. Not exactly S tiers by any means, but solid bots. Sigma basically should either not be picked at all at the end of the draft, or is picked on a bulky roster to sustain that bulk, or to keep that bulk. Winston, kind of the same story. I don't think you want him on a roster that deals damage. I think you just want him, if you have an already bulky team, you want to add more bulk to it, you add a Winston. I think this is, it's very a feast or famine. You gotta just pick characters that do the same thing, and a bunch of them. With how bots work, because you want your team to do one thing well, and it has to do it really well. For instance, this AI squad, they might not be the best in the league, but they are very good at being bulky. And on the other side right now, No Diff Unks are pretty dang good at doing damage with the triple DPS lineup they have. If they had just invested a little bit more towards that damage, I think removing this Winston for something else, they might have had a chance this season, but Winston just not a good enough tank to get the job done. Unfortunately for No Diff Unks here, AI is actually pushing, and now they have a Zen. They're going to add some significant damage to the Soldier Zen backline here. Winston going to fly in. He is going to get evaporated, I think. Maybe not, actually. Okay, yeah, he does. Okay, so this is not good. You gotta hope AI does C9 if you're No Diff Unks here, because suddenly you are in danger of losing this whole map. Reaper and Bastion pushing in, but I don't think this is well advised here. I think this is a very unfortunate moment where AI is just going to keep pushing this thing. And I don't think No Diff Unks are going to be able to ever financially recover from this. I think this could just spell King's Row for them. The way they are pushing this thing, and the way that No Diff Unks just keep pushing in and staggering, is very concerning. They're going to need a C9 if they can get it. They can force this Zen off the payload. And they don't, so Soldier gonna stay on this thing. Gonna keep pushing. They're gonna get to the second checkpoint in OT. Which is very rare with bots. Usually they abandon the cart at a random time. However, AI is currently obliterating Notif Unks as they continue staggering in. And they're not leaving this payload. They are doing a very good job of staying on it compared to most teams in Overbots. I just don't think Notif Unks are ever going to financially recover from this one. I think this is pretty much it. Map 1, I think you can put it in the books after this push. This is an insane overtime push that I don't think Notif Unks are going to emulate. They're going to eventually C9. Doomfist trying to get back there, but not quite in time. So eventually they do get that elusive C9. But that was a very, very solid push. I struggle to see a world in which Notif Unks overcome AI's bar. That is egregious. We're gonna go back to the spawn. Oh shoot, got stuck. Oh shoot. Okay, I'm gonna go back over here. Not looking all that good for Notif Unks at all. AI looking to take this map 1. I am going to leave for a quick second here. Zen actually making a massive impact here for AI. We'll see how this first push goes without me. 1 second. Alright, looks like Notif Unks were evicted from the point for that first fight. One member did drop on the side of AI, but wasn't quite enough for Notif Unks here. We'll see if this next push can do any better. Deep dive here from Winston. Ana gonna be punished for it though, and Winston gonna fall soon after. Zen gonna go down, but not enough at all. Ramatra gonna remove the Reaper and the Bastion at the end there. And this is looking pretty poor for Notif Unks, despite having that great push the first time around. Let's see though, the switch to Brig could be a bit of a throw here for AI. Zen, one of the best in the league. Brig, not quite up there. See how this goes. Winston gonna be in very deep. This could, yeah, that was bad. Okay. Maybe it doesn't matter what they have. I think this might just be over. I think AI is gonna take this. They do get 2 picks, 3 picks, but not quite enough still. Even so, they still got Sigma and Doom. Sigma not quite a character, so really just Doom. 30 seconds left, but the reinforcement should be here in time. I don't see a world in which Notif Unks overcome this. The ults might be able to do something with that, but I just don't think there's enough. Soldier gonna have that aimbot here. See if he pops it. He's not even gonna need to, actually. He's just killing them all. Doom does get 1, though. Soldier gonna pick up the rest of the kills. And that is going to be it. AI takes map 1. Pretty convincing fashion after the first half, anyways. Very dominant second defense. Very dominant second offense. They take it. AI goes up 1-0 on Notif Unks. Let's get ready for that next map. See what it is here today. Remember, there are no stakes today in this matchup. All right, Nepal. Here we go. Notavunks and AI gonna be going at it again. This is purely for the fun of the game, the joy of the game here. No real stakes for either of these teams. Neither of them have entered playoffs, so don't have to worry about anything. No positioning to worry about, no seeding. Just focusing on what can we do better next season. What do we like from our team? What do we need to get rid of? How can we get better? Cassidy, going to be an excellent pick for Notafunks. I say that with full bias, as that is my GOAT on my squad. Blazing Magi, Cassidy doing a very good job for us. Got us into our first ever playoffs this season. Gonna be a huge boon to our squad. We're trying to get that first seed still. I think that is the only real stakes for this last week. I'm pretty sure everything else is pretty much secured for everyone. Here we go. Alright, AI gonna try to complete a 3-0 here of Notafunks if they can. On the other side, AI, or on the other side, Notafunks going to try and stop that from happening. Doesn't really matter though. Cassidy gonna be a huge pickup here, and Moira not quite as good of a character. Doom gonna fall immediately. Bastion gonna help get through this Sigma HB bar. Ana gonna go down, but it's not gonna matter. Ramatra gonna deal with that Cassidy, and eventually AI will take this first point. So even with losing the Zen and the Brig and going to Moira, they do find the upper hand in this one. Just really unfortunate for Notafunks. I thought the Cassidy might be the little advantage they needed, but wasn't able to quite do enough there. As you can see, his damage not very good. Anti-nade comes out. I don't think it's going to matter too much. The sleep dart is going to hit the Ramatra, keep him out of the fight for a little bit, but not going to be enough. And that is going to be it. Another clean fight here for AI. Sigma actually getting a couple picks there. Here we go again. It's going to be another mindless drone push here from Notafunks. Seeing if they can get back into the series, but they are more than likely going to go down 2-0 to start this one. Doomfist coming in, or Doomfist, Bastion coming in hot. He's going to find that Moira. He is going to drop himself, but does find the Moira, so no healing on the side of AI. Doesn't matter, though, other than the Soldier. And Soldier kills 4. And Soldier says no. Moira going to be making her way back for AI. Support bot putting in its work. Here comes Krusty Crushers on the other side. Or not Crust. What? Notafunks. Krusty Crushers are not in today's match. Notafunks. Excuse me. Okay. Here we go. Wonder if I said that earlier too. Okay. Notafunks coming in hot. Gonna pop the Bastion mode. That was over quick. So this one is gonna start at 1-0 for AI. We'll see how the rest of this Nepal goes, but not looking too hot here at all. Alright, here we go. Second point of Nepal. If AI wins this one, they will go up 2-0 in the series. Notafunks fighting for nothing, really, but they're here. AI also fighting for nothing, but they're winning. Torb here, though, is an excellent pickup. Doesn't seem to be helping them, though, at all, as AI just absolutely shreds through their roster. Imagine having Torb and losing. Lack of production here for Notif Unks. AI just seem to be overcoming them no matter what at this point. The roster gap must just be too wide here. Bastion gonna push in. Oh, gonna find that Mercy, gonna find the Doom. Shredding that shield. Ramatra getting low to half, but Bastion's gonna fall here. Torb, I hear him building a turret somewhere, but that's not gonna find any kills. Winton gonna go in deep, but he's gonna get punished for it immediately. Ash gonna go down next. Torb probably gonna be next to fall here. He takes a little bit longer to kill than the others though. And now they have Zen, so this just goes from ugly to even uglier. Yeah, GG Notavunks. I think your season is just as cooked. I mean, it is cooked already, but this just makes it look even worse. AI is also a bad team, so getting crushed by them is not exactly a good sign for your own squad. Yeah, this one's over. Sorry, Notavunks. And that is it. Winton coming through, but that's just it. 100 to 0, 100 to 0. Notavunks didn't even have a chance on Nepal. Let's get the next map started. AI going up 2-0 in this one. More than likely we'll take a 3-0 here. Okay, going to another control. Koth gonna decide this one. More than likely it will just be it here. Very dominant showing from the side of AI despite their struggles this season. They are at least going to be able to beat up on this Notif Unks team. And it looks like they're probably just going to win this one. Kiri, solid support choice. Lands plenty of headshots. Not at all biased considering she's on my team. Sojourn, also a great choice. She is on that Krusty Crushers roster, which has been very good this season. However, not quite good enough to overcome some of the top contenders. So I think Krusty Crushers are going to be a first round bounce in the playoffs. You heard it here first. Alright. Here comes the two squads. They're going to meet up here at the middle. We'll see how Oasis goes. Probably going to be a 3-0, but open to be surprised. Sojourn, very solid choice. So that could flip the table here. Turn the table. Something to the table. Bastion going to pop that turret form a little bit early. Could regret that one. In fact, he probably will, as he's going to fall here to Doom. Picks. Sojourn does find a few, but not quite enough. Soldier going to remove the Sojourn. And that is going to be the first fight going AI's way, as anticipated. Already building up that percentage. They're going to try to get another 2 100 to 0s here. If they do that, we will be done with the series. And we can move on to each of these squads. The last series. Neither of them are getting into the playoffs. So not ideal, but it is what it is. Sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches. Bastion getting 2 there. Crucial picks, but ooh, is it enough? 2 on 2 here. Soldier versus Sojourn. Soldier gonna win that one. and that will be enough to push that Ashe out with the Sigma shield. So, Note of Unk's doing all they can, not able to overcome the the soldier, excuse me. Other way around, Bastion not able to overcome his competition for the first time in what feels like forever in Overbots. Okay. Winston gonna go in pretty aggressive here. Bastion gonna come in with that turret farm. Soldier, however, and Doom gonna be able to remove 2. Soldier gonna go down. Bastion gonna be removed. Only a couple of members remain here for Note of Unk, so that is gonna be 70-0 here and counting. And it looks like Note of Unk's chances of winning the series are just getting slimmer and slimmer as these fights go on. The brig change, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that one, but it seems to be working out for now. Winston gonna go in for another aggressive push here. He's probably gonna get punished for this once more. Huge anti coming out, getting 3 members of AI. However, Soldier's still able to remove that on it, and it just doesn't matter even when they're antied. Bastion gonna go down. Winston gonna fall. That is it. 100-0 here. I don't imagine the DPS aren't gonna do much. He's face full of damage, and that's going to be it. So 100-0 start Oasis. Probably 100-0 again, and that will probably just be the series. Wrapping it up for AI and Note of Unks here. All right. Here we go. One final opportunity here for Note of Unks to make something happen, but I feel like it's the poking the dog with the stick meme. I don't think it's happening. Do something. AI. Doom goes down very quickly. Soldier gonna follow, so maybe Note of Unks have a chance in this one. In fact, they should win this one. Sigma gets 2, though. Nah, you don't lose this to Sigma. You don't lose this to Sigma. Can't lose to Sigma. Okay. So AI. Looks like Note of Unks are actually doing something this time. So poking with a stick did work this time for once. That soldier with the Ashe and the Tracer on the squad. Bastion here too. See some solid choices on this team. Bastion, one of the best characters in this league, but just not able to do much on the squad. The squad surrounding him just not good enough. He needs at least one other really good character. And right now they just don't have that. You need about 2 top tiers in order to be good in Overbots, it feels like. AI gonna remove them so quickly. AI on the other foot doesn't have really any like S tiers, but they have some solid choices through and through, which allows them to beat teams that have just one solid guy, usually. So that works out for them. Alright, here comes Note of Unks. They're going to go in pretty deep here. Tracer actually going to be able to remove Brigitte here. It looks like a lot of the value coming in through Note of Unks, so they're actually going to be able to do something here, unless Soldier just absolutely pops off. Soldier and Sigma working together here, but not going to be quite enough. As Tracer does remove that Sigma to finish off AI. Note of Unks. Remaining members are going to be regrouping shortly. On the other side, AI popping that Lucio. Gonna find something new here to try out. Brig, not quite the option you want in Overbots. Brig, not very good in my opinion. Alright, here they come. Doom going in deep. Is gonna get absolutely shredded. Tracer able to remove 1. This is gonna be curtains here. Well, maybe not curtains, but for this fight at least. Oh, wait, maybe not. Ramatra kills 2, but Sigma is the only remaining member, and he is not very good on his own. Does force the Bob out, which could be crucial for this final fight. No Bob on the side of Krusty Crushers. So even though Sigma, not exactly the greatest choice, Bob isn't going to be here for this final fight pretty much at all. He got like one shot in on that Doom. Ash getting very low. She's going to fall. Doom getting in here. The picks so far not... Oh, favoring Krusty Crushers actually. Okay, there are no defunks. No defunks are actually going to do this. The nano comes through, and that's going to be it. So, no defunks actually winning a point here on Oasis. Sigma's going to die. Yeah, he's going to die. Okay, so that is 1-1. Okay, no defunks proving me wrong. I keep calling them Krusty Crushers, though, for some reason. I don't know why. All right, here we go. AI, no defunks. 1 point here on Oasis. See if AI can clean up this 3-0, or if no defunks will be able to take a map here. Winston slept, but immediately punched out of it, so it doesn't really impact much. Support gonna go down for AI, however, on a... Oh, that's gonna be it for no defunks. They're done. GG! That's the 3-0. It's finally coming through here. That is gonna be the 3-0. This point is very hard to take back. In overbots, especially. This one is curtains. And that's a 3-0 right there, guys. Sleep goes into the wall. And look at the way they all just get stuck on the wall. Yep, this one's over. I can confidently say this one's over. Okay. Was I wrong? Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. No defunks actually come in and take one fight. We'll see. They can turn this around. We'll see if they can turn this around. We can see. I don't think they will. I think AI is going to win this one. 63% on the board already for them. On the other side, only getting 10% just now. Doom getting stuck, though. Could be a crucial advantage here. That actually might spell curtains for AI. Oh my gosh, Sigma and Soldier putting in enough work, even without their Doomfist. They absolutely roll over no defunks. So no Doomfist, no problem. Doomfist. Pulling a Winston. Season... What was that? Season 1? Was that when I had Winston? Pulling a Season 1 Winston. That was a very poor ultimate choice. Ana's probably going to die here. Yep. Doesn't even matter, though, because AI just have this one. Despite not... Okay, Doom finally coming in, but it doesn't matter. It's over. 100 to 33% to end this one. That is going to be a 3-0 for AI, despite not having their Doom for much of this point. AI going to take this series. All right.